Hello and welcome to the second episode of this AP Sports podcast. And today we will be following up what we talked about yesterday, which was the post-spring, post-transfer portal top 25 for college football. And for today, we're going to be finishing up on that. We'll be doing the teams ranked between 11 and 19, and then which we'll have the top 10 out tomorrow. But we'll be having that, and at the very end, we will be talking about the NBA Finals Game 3, which happened last night. So, a lot to talk about today, but we'll get through it. We'll start off with the top 25 as yesterday. If you want to go watch that video, it is up now. So that was 25 through 20 with my honorable mentions as well. Some good teams that I listed, some tough teams I had to leave out. But furthermore, these teams are who I think that are better, in my opinion, and I think could be a lot better as the season goes on. We'll start off with number 19. At 19, I have NC State. NC State had a pretty good year last year. They were pretty good. They were well-rounded, very good coach all the way around. They're losing a very, very good part of their team in Peyton Wilson at linebacker, but I think they can rebuild. I think they have the talent to not obviously have what they had in Peyton Wilson, but I think they have the talent to almost be as good as that with multiple players at that linebacker position. But it's second year from Robert Anae's scheme. Last year was his first year on offense. I mean, it didn't look bad. A lot of growing pains, as you can see, though, but I think he'll be really good. I think the offense will pick up where they left off, which last year they left off in stride, averaging over 300 yards a game. They were very good on offense to end the game last year. I think especially with how they just finished as a team, the coach, the wins, I think it was a successful year, which I think this year will be even better for them at NC State. They have a new QB this year, Coastal Carolina transfer, Grayson McCall. Grayson McCall is really good. Coastal Carolina, he won. He was a winner there at Coastal Carolina. He's very good at passing. He can get out of the pocket, very good pocket presence. I think he's going to be very good for this upcoming year at NC State. I think NC State was a good find for him, a good home to find over there. They're returning the ACC Rookie of the Year wideout, he goes by Kevin Casey Concepcion. He is returning at wide receiver. He is very good. He was the Rookie of the Year, quote unquote. Basically freshman of the year, all that, newcomers, all that. He was very good. I think he will be even better this year. I think him and Grayson McCall they'll pick up in stride. I think they'll do very good. We'll just have to wait and see. They also gained Ohio State transfer Noah Rogers and Duke transfer Jordan Waters. And those are both very, very good teams, or very good players, pardon me. But I think that offense will be very, very good to come up. As I said earlier, they lost Peyton Wilson, but they have the new trio of linebackers they have. They do still have Aiden White at corner, who's a very good player. He's a stud. He can cover man coverage, zone coverage. He'll be a future Sunday guy. They do have some new faces on the outside, though, which I think will some growing pains that they'll get through. But new team in certain areas, but I do think that they will be very good. So that is NC State at 19. My next team that I have, a lot of people won't agree with. I have LSU at 19, or 18, pardon me. I have LSU at 18. The reason for why people won't agree is some people have them, they'll think I have that too low. But if you look at who they lost a lot of production. They lost the reigning Heisman winner, Jayden Daniels. They lost Malik Nabers. They lost Brian Thomas. It's those three players on offensive loan is huge. It's huge. Garrett Nussmeier will take over at the quarterback position for Jayden Daniels, which he did really good in their bowl game. He did very good. I just think, I don't know, he's not Jayden Daniels. And as you could see last year, Jayden Daniels made them who they are. Jayden Daniels was the reason why LSU had a very good year last year. They have a new play caller in Joe Sloan as well, so that is something to keep an eye out for. So new players all around, new play caller. I think it will be a little bit tough to get into. They need to stay more consistent on the run game, especially not having Jayden Daniels as well, because Jayden Daniels was a threat throwing the ball and running the ball. Heisman winner right there. But I don't know I don't know how they will do with losing all that production. I think Brian Kelly he'll get them right. He'll get them in the right mindset. He'll bring out the winners in them and bring out the competitiveness. But it's his third year there at LSU, which that is the year he needs to take a step forward for this upcoming season, which I think he has a very, very good possibility of doing. He's a very good coach. He wins everywhere he goes. Which you'll hear about that from a lot of coaches later on. But I just think they need to have a more consistent run game. Kyron Lacy's a good name to watch out for there at LSU. Could he have a breakout year? Who knows? The one really good thing is their offensive line is strong. A lot of key returners. They also have a new defense corner, so both sides of the ball, new coordinators. Blake Baker is the new defensive coordinator. They have Harold Perkins Jr. at linebacker, who's also very good. Everyone knows that. Their defense goes as far as their defensive line will take them this year, in my opinion. If their defensive line can put pressure on the quarterback, force not good decisions, and let those corners, those athletic corners, do what they do, I think they could be very good. I just think losing that much talent gets to them. Losing that much talent, I think, is just crucial. And if you look at their schedule here, opening up with USC, which I think will be a very good game. Very good game. We mentioned USC yesterday. USC, that'll be a very good game. They do host Ole Miss, which is a good game. Then they play at Arkansas, at Texas A&M, host Alabama, at Florida. That is the stretch of games that I'm very curious to look at. Those stretch of games kind of dictate the season of how they bounce back or if they don't bounce back, but we'll see. It's just the main key was them losing the 7 defensive backs, and I don't know, the big games against Alabama, that's just a big game, but we'll have to wait and see. But at number 17, the next team, I have Oklahoma staying in the SEC. Oklahoma, first year SEC too. 17. This team, they have a lot of talent. This team has a ton of talent. This team has talent all around the football, both sides of the football. I think they'll be very good. Jackson Arnold is someone at the quarterback position that I really like. Last year in that bowl game, he did very good, but he had 4 turnovers of OU's 6. So I think the thing that needs to happen is he needs to limit the turnovers. They have a new offensive coordinator as well in Seth Luttrell, which I think that'll be very good for Arnold to have. And there's new talent around Arnold as well at the running back position. They do keep their main receivers. They have Andrew Anthony, Nick Anderson, and Jaleel, if I pronounce it wrong, I'm sorry, Jaleel Farooq. But I just think they will be very, very good passing the ball. They'll be very good at passing the ball. They just need to have a very good run game, to say. Like, they need to have that side of the ball be good for them to be good. If OU does not have that run game and they're forced to pass every single play, teams are going to catch up on it. They're in the SEC now. People call this the big dog conference. They're going to have athletes all over the field. Everyone can cover. But I think the team goes as far as Arnold takes them, which if we flip the ball to the defensive side, they return 11 of the top 13 tacklers. 11 of the top 13. And they're led by their 2 first Big 12 players and linebackers Danny Stutzman and safety Billy Bowman Jr. Those 2 names are going to be very, very huge and key parts of that defense. I think they'll be pretty good. I think the defense will be good. It's just this part right here, their schedule. Their schedule's rough. They have Temple, Houston, Tulane, the first 3. Okay, all at home. You start SEC play hosting Tennessee. That'll be a very good game. Then you go to Auburn. I think Auburn's going to be a great team. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. I think they'll be pretty good. Then you play Texas. Again, rivalry showdown. Last year you guys got them. What will happen this year? Then you have South Carolina at Ole Miss, and then you end the year with at Missouri, Alabama, and LSU. Those are some big dogs named. LSU, Alabama, Missouri, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Texas. Those are all the top tier of the conference, top tier in the country teams that you guys will be playing. I just don't know how you guys will do. That's just a brutal schedule. But that is Oklahoma at 17. And if we move down to 16, I have Tennessee staying in the SEC again, mentioning that a lot of SEC teams in the top 25, by the way. But here we go. First time pronouncing the name. At quarterback, Nico Iamaleava. Nico Iamaleava. Hopefully I'll get that down. I don't know if that was right, but he's a star, 5-star, former 5-star. I think he'll be very good. He waited his time there behind Joe Milton last year. He showed sparks last year when he had to come in, but I think he's going to be very good. I think Tennessee will be very, very good. Bru McCoy is back from injury, with a lot of people forgot about. Bru McCoy will be good. Squirrel White, love that name, by the way. He fits perfectly in their system there, perfectly. Expect him to have a breakout year too with Nico. Offensive line turns 3 starters, and they got a former 5-star transfer, Lance Hurd, at left tackle. Nico's a right-handed quarterback. Left tackle, everyone knows that's a very important position. Having a former 5-star and a guy that is very athletic in Lance Hurd, that is huge. That is huge for them, which I think that will help him, and you will see how that will help him later on in the season. But that offensive line having 4 out of 5, which I think it's a great unit overall, 5 out of 5. They're great. But the offense looks really good, really, really good. Dylan Sampson's back as well. But if we flip the ball defense, they have the potential number 1 overall pick, James Pierce Jr. He is a freakish athlete. Freakish athlete. He's probably the best in the nation. There's a select few that you can put with him, but he is a freakish athlete. But the main thing that I'm looking at is they lost 7 defensive backs this offseason. 7 defensive backs. That is a lot. That is a lot. And if you're Tennessee and you're looking at the schedule right here, when you got Oklahoma, Arkansas, Alabama, Georgia, those are all these teams, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Florida. You do have NC State week 2 as well. That will be a sneaky, sneaky game. NC State week 2. That'll be on ABC 7:30 kickoff. It is neutral sided, but this will be a very, very, very big season for Tennessee. I'm curious to see how they handle all the newness, but we'll see. Boo Carter is someone that I expect to be very good, explosive this year, that I think will be in his young career, but that is Tennessee there. If we move on to 15, now this team I'm very high on. 15 is Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, Big 12. I'm going to tell you right now, Oklahoma State is my personal pick to win the Big 12. I'm saying right now, they're my personal pick to win the Big 12. I know they have Kansas State and Utah up there and a lot of good teams, Iowa State, West Virginia. Those are good teams. But this stat right here, they are returning the second most production in the country. They have the second highest returning production percentage in the country. Sorry, that's how I should have worded it. Second highest. Second highest. I have them at 15 just because of their defensive problems last year, but I think that can change. This team is a veteran team. Last year there was a lot of newness. They are a veteran team now, experienced. They have the running back of the year, Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon, again, will be very explosive, be very good this year. He'll be very good. Alan Bowman, I don't know how. Back again. It's like his 45th year in college football. I'm exaggerating. I think it's his 7th to be exact. But he is unreal. He is good. He is good. I don't know if unreal, we'll backtrack a bit. I don't know if unreal is the right word, but he's very good. Alabama is very good, very experienced. Ollie Gordon is unreal, is what I should have said. But they have a proven receiving core in Brennan Presley and Rashad Owens. Watching that team last year, they were very good on offense. They would have their times where they struggled a little bit, but in the end, they figured most of it out, which I think they'll do again this year. I think Oklahoma State will be very good, as what I just said. Flip the ball. They have 10 returning starters on defense, which is that's a very good thing to have. It's just last year they need to limit the scoring chances. Their pass defense was not that good last year, which I think it will be better this year, obviously. But I think they need to limit the scoring chances, help that offense put up more points. I think they need to be better in the turnover category. They need to force more turnovers, force more bad decisions. Sorry, but they are my dark horse, and I think they are my Big 12 champs. They are who I have winning. If you look at their schedule here, they have Utah September 21st. It is home though. That is the big game. They go at Kansas State and home against West Virginia. That 3-game thing right there, 3-game span. Hosting Utah, at Kansas State, hosting West Virginia. Those are 3 big games. OU will not be on the schedule this year first time in a while. A lot of debate on that, which we'll get into later. But I think Oklahoma State will be a very, very, very good team. If we move on to number 14, we are staying in the Big 12, and I'm going with Kansas State at number 14. Kansas State. Them and Oklahoma State I was back and forth with at 14-15, but that is where I have both of them. You could flip-flop them, vice versa. They're both very good. New offensive coordinator, Connor Riley. Avery Johnson's at quarterback. You saw him last year. He looked pretty good. He's going to be the main focus point of that offense. They have great skill positions returning, including running back DJ Gibbons. They have a very good and experienced offensive line, which I think will be very good for Avery Johnson. Avery Johnson is dual threat. I think he's going to be very good. DJ Gibbons very good. 3 of their main target receivers are back. Very, very good experienced defense as well. The secondary and D-line for Kansas State will be huge, though, and that is why I think they'll be very good. They play a lot of man coverage, which could hurt them if one man gets beat, but they're good enough, they're athletic enough, they're fast enough to cover. They're very good. I have them as going to be a top defense in the country this year. I have them at that. They're a top defense in the Big 12, in my opinion, already. Along with Utah, they're the favorites, but I think it's just, I don't know, that game against Oklahoma State, that is the game that I have circled right there. September 28th, Kansas State versus Oklahoma State. If we move on to number 13, going to the ACC, I have Clemson. Clemson brings a lot of question marks. Dabo Swinney. Garrett Riley, offensive coordinator. He needs to be better. Garrett Riley needs to be better. Their offense, with all that talent they have, I think they should be amazing. They should be top 10 every year, in my opinion. They recruit still. They get a lot of great young players. They're a very good team. Cade Klubnik returns at quarterback. I think he'll be very good this year, but Klubnik needs to play a lot better than what he did last season, which I think he will. Phil Mafah will be one of the best backs in the ACC, maybe one of the best backs in the country, and that offensive line needs to help him out, which I think they'll be very good. The X factor for that offense, though, for Clemson is tight end Jake Brenningstool. I think he's the X factor of that team. Watching him last year, I think he'll be very, very good. I think he'll be very good next year. We'll have to see how that offense responds. You already know their defense is going to be good. They lost NFL talent. Well, guess what? They're replacing it with future NFL talent. That's how Clemson rolls. Their defense is going to be good. Sammy Brown will be the new star young player rotating in there. Sammy Brown, keep that name in the back of your memory. Sorry, but they led the nation in turnovers as well. You'll see that regress. They had a lot last year. I think it was 28 to be exact, but you expect that number to go down a little bit, but expect them to still be very good in the turnover margin, which I think they will be. The team has a lot of promise. That game versus FSU at Florida State October 5th, that is going to be the game, in my opinion, that decides a lot about the ACC. That, in my opinion, that's a lot. They have Georgia week 1. I don't know how that's going to go. Clemson versus Georgia. We'll have to wait and see. That'll be a test. Georgia, which you'll see later in my rankings. But going back to Florida State, and we'll move on, I have Florida State at number 12. Florida State coming in at number 12. Florida State. So, everyone knows what happened last year. Undefeated, didn't get in, right? Since the show is new, no one heard about my personal opinions on that. And I will get in on that on another episode. But they're looking for revenge. They're looking for revenge in Tallahassee. They are looking for revenge. I'll tell you that. They lost. The reason why I think FSU, I do not think they'll be as good as last year's team. I do not. But I think they won't be bad. But if you hear this, losing this much production is they lost Jordan Travis, Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson, and top tight end Jaheim Bell. They lost a lot of production. The only good thing about that, they also lost Trey Benson as well, if I not say that. They lost a lot of production. The only really good thing is that offensive line is a veteran group. They are very good, which if you have followed FSU recently or a couple years, 5 years, that offensive line used to be brutal. It used to be awful to watch. It used to be awful to watch. But things have changed in Tallahassee. The trenches have changed over there. Here we go. DJ Uiagalelei. If I pronounce it wrong, I'm sorry. He's coming in from Oregon State. That is the main thing that happened this offseason. I think he'll be very good. Veteran guy at Clemson. You saw what happened there. Didn't really do that good. Him and Cade Klubnik switching off. He goes to Oregon State. He does pretty good there. Gets them in a winning season. Couldn't get through the big games, though. But his arm talent's unreal. He has a cannon. Great player. Veteran guy. You've seen him in the struggles, as I previously mentioned, but I think he will fix those struggles. I think him at FSU is a good fit. I think that's a very good fit. We'll just have to wait and see how that all plays out. On defense, though, they lost many guys, and a lot of guys will need to step up, but there's plenty of talent at FSU. They've been very good recruiting recently, very good in the transfer portal. I think that defense will still be very good this year because I think their schedule is not that strong. I'm just going to go out there and say it. Look at their schedule. Their hardest games are Clemson October 5th, and they travel to South Bend to play Notre Dame November 9th, which that will be a very good game. And you'll hear about Notre Dame later on, but those are really the hard games. They have Florida end of year, but it's just that Clemson, Miami, and Notre Dame game are the three big ones in my opinion. But that is Florida State at number 12. And we'll move on to the last one of the day. The Penn State Nittany Lions at number 11. So you'll hear me talk about Big Ten teams a lot on this show, and you'll figure out the reason why. I'm not going to go out there and say it, but Penn State is a team I followed very closely all last year, very close to the year before, so on. At Penn State, Happy Valley, this was the year they circled. 3 years ago, they circled this year with Drew Aller, Nick Singleton, Katron Allen. Third-year guys. This team, I think, will be very good. They're going to be very, very good. They have Ohio State transfer Julian Fleming on the outside. He's very explosive. He's tall. He's athletic. He's fast. He's a great return man, too. This team is very good. They have Tyler Warren, All-American candidate at tight end. He's very good. But this team's offense, new offense coordinator, Andy, and if I pronounce this wrong, I am very sorry. Kotelnicki. Andy Kotelnicki from Kansas. Sorry. But he is there at Penn State. He does very creative things with his formations, the scheme he has, which I think is what Penn State needs. That is what they need. They need diversity in that playbook. They need something. They need a go-to play in the red zone. They need that. You saw last year, that was their struggle. Offense was their struggle, which I think they'll be a lot better this year, which you'll know their defense will be good. Their defense will be very good. Abdul Carter, they moved him from linebacker to edge. A lot of people have seen that. I'm sure he'll play both sometime throughout the season. He's very good. The defense will need to be huge. They lost some key guys, Chop Robinson, we know that, but they get talent. They recruit. They do good on the defense side of the ball. I think the biggest thing for Penn State is Drew Aller needs to be there. Drew Aller needs to be the X factor that they have to play good. And if he plays really good, this new scheme that they have, he could, hear me out, he could be looking at a Heisman. Not winning it. I do not think he will win it unless he goes bonkers. He could be a top guy, a top finish guy. But as of right now, I think they need to rely on them. And if you look at their schedule, the big thing, no Michigan. They do not play Michigan. What has James Franklin not been able to do? Get over Michigan, Ohio State, same year. That is what they need to do. And with the new schedules coming out, with the West teams joining the Big Ten, the Pac-12 teams, Penn State has a chance to do it. They host Ohio State November 2nd. Keep that date circled. They host Ohio State November 2nd. Yes, they play at USC, at Wisconsin. They host Washington. They have West Virginia week 1, which I think will be a very good test. I think they'll get through it, though. Looking forward to that. But Penn State is a team that I have to be very good in this upcoming year. So that is all for the college football part real quick. And we'll get into real quick that NBA game real quick. that NBA game last night. Mavericks Celtics. Game 3 went on last night. Boston won 106-99, 7-point victory. Mavericks were on a 28-22 or 22-2 run. Jason Kidd called timeout when it was 93-90. Luka didn't like it. Kyrie Irving, 13 of 28 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3, 35 points. Luka Doncic, before he fouled out, that is huge, fouled out, he had 27. Their other starters, PJ Washington had 13. He started grooving a little bit later on. But that team, everyone said Kyrie and Luka needed to play very good. They just played very good and they still lost. This series is over. I do not see the Mavericks coming back 3-0. Nope, it's not possible. Not possible. Jason Tatum, 31 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Jaylen Brown, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 30 points. Those two superstars from them showed up. And by the way, no Kristaps Porzingis. None. No Kristaps. And they still went out and won. Watching that game, they are outmatched. They are matched. The Mavericks matched up very, very well with the Timberwolves, and the Celtics are the team to beat this year. The Celtics are good. It is their year. I think they'll go put up that, 18th banner. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But that is that. Which we will talk about this more once the series is over and how this will affect everything, which I think will be Friday. NHL on tonight, and we'll get into that probably tomorrow or the next day. Just stay tuned for that. But thank you for tuning in and watching the top 25 reveal of 11 through 19, and it was a little summary of that game. But thank you so much. I will see you next time. As always, subscribe, like the video, drop a follow. Thank you so much, and we will see you guys later.